Hi, this is Ron Edwards, Master Sommelier and Director of Wine Education for Winebow Fine Wine and Spirits. And today we get to talk about Riesling. And that is always a joy in my book. But today's Riesling is from Australia, specifically from Clare Valley, which is part of the South Australia region. And Clare Valley is inland and a little bit higher in elevation. That 450 meters or so is where Pikes Riesling is grown, and in the Polish Hill River area, which isn't an official subdistrict yet, but I think it probably will become one in time. This is really unique property because in this particular part of Clare Valley, the subsoil and sometimes right at the top is all slate, specifically blue slate, which should sound familiar to you because that is like Mosel Valley, which is Germany and synonymous with Riesling. They make a very different style of Riesling in Australia than most of what you think of for Germany. Germany makes plenty of dry wines, but in Clare Valley, the focus is dry wines and always has been. There's a few wines that don't finish dry, but that's not the norm. So let's give a taste to the specific bottling. This time is the Traditionale bottling, and this is the 2020 vintage. Let's see what it smells like. Honeycomb and key lime, beautiful tart pineapple, kind of a Granny Smith apple with the skin on, tart passion fruit. There's a really light herbal signature, something along the lines of fresh parsley. There's a wet stone sort of note to the wine. It smells really crisp. It smells really refreshing. And underneath that, all of the fruit and the beeswax, there's just a little bit of a bread dough yeast note from the lees aging. Let's see what it tastes like. It's dry, it's crisp. There's a beautiful tropical tart citrus drive to this wine. It's lime zest. There's an unripe pineapple driving, but you still find the passion fruit, like fresh passion fruit, and then comes that little weave of the lees, then the green apple and with the skin on it, and it starts to cycle through all these flavors again. Second time through, those light green herbs are coming out and the fruit rush is giving way to that wet stone minerality that is really apparent in this wine. It's really pretty, it's really driven, it's really elegant, and an excellent example of Clare Valley Riesling, which is a world-class location to grow Riesling and make wines like this. Let's have a second sip. I love the texture of this wine because it is very driven and racy, but at the same time it has width to it. There's an unctuousness to the texture that sort of coats the tongue and the gums. And while you're tasting all those flavors I brought up, it isn't abrupt, because a lot of the things we talked about, like lime zest, that's pretty abrupt, but there's enough wrapped around those flavors and the tartness of this wine to make it feel supremely balanced. If you have not really explored Riesling from South Australia, specifically Clare Valley and Eden Valley, then let's start here. Let's start with Pikes Traditionale Riesling from Clare Valley. This is the 2020 bottling, and it is well worth your time.